welcome to another episode of Over the Line. We're going to be talking about some serious topics today. We decided to change our format. There'll be no more silliness. That idiot John Bird has been fired. I will be replacing him. Andrew is here. Andrew, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. I'm good, John Bird. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. It's good to be here. I'm glad you finally came to your senses. And
okay, this ain't working out. This is not working. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hey now. All right.
But you know, you got to admit I did a pretty good job.
That was good. I told you to just be serious for a little bit, just for a moment.
I can't. Yeah, I can only do it for so long.
Yeah, but you do a good job because you constantly bamboozle me into thinking, whatever you're talking about. Because you do this thing where it's like, oh my God, da-da-da-da-da. I'm just kidding. Yeah. And sometimes you do it longer, like you let it hang out there just a little too long to where it gets inappropriate.
Right. Yeah, I do have some issues with that. But let me tell everybody out there, and Andrew, I'm going to tell you too, there's always a grain of truth. You can't be funny and over the top without there being a grain of truth in there. So it's up to you detectives out there in internet land and you, Sherlock Holmes, to figure out which one is which.
JT, start us off. $9.99 on the
JT. Oh, God. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's broken again.
You can't. Well, we're not members only. We're live, completely live. So
yeah, and I'm on mine, but it won't. I guess you booted me off or something. Yeah, but that's okay.
Look, go to your. Are you on your?
I'm on mine. Yes, I'm on
your personal page.
I'm on my personal page.
All right, so go to the search bar, type in Over the Line Andrew McClain.
That's what I keep forgetting to do. I think it likes me enough to go ahead and just show it, but no, okay.
Oh wait, so you're not even looking for the page. You're pulling up YouTube, and if it's not showing you, you think it's broken.
Yeah, yeah. But is everybody having to do that?
No, I mean I don't think mine pops up when we're live. Like I guess I can look.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, here I am.
All right, so I'm pulling up my YouTube on my phone. Let me see what the first thing it shows me. First thing it shows me is Bubba's members-only show from today, Clem and Kush.
Okay, yeah, I got live. Trump announces important news.
Yeah, so it's not a you thing. It's just that's how YouTube works. Because you watch this show 2 to 3 times a week, but do you watch other things more than that per week?
Maybe.
Well, that's probably what it is then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's Over the Line. I guess I'll view the channel. I found it. Here it is. I fixed it.
Oh, good job. JT says I paid the $9.99 so John couldn't watch. LOL, just JK.
Okay,
just
hold on.
He's just joking.
For that. Okay, I'm watching kitty cat videos now.
He'll do whatever for $9.99. I have to say this, today was a hard day. I say today. It was more like this afternoon. About halfway through the show, it hits me that I haven't heard from John Bird. And I was like, well, I need to make sure he's going to be at the podcast studio so we can do a show. It's going to be really awkward me doing the show by myself. And so I text, and I don't get anything. And I text again, still don't get anything. And then Tony, because it was in our group message, and then Tony Gump messages me, and he's like, well, that's kind of weird. And I'm like, I start getting in my own head at that point, and I don't hear from you at all through the entire show. And I'm struggling to get through the radio show at that point because all of these thoughts are going through my head that John Bird has either, best case scenario, you busted your phone, or you got drunk last night and you're still asleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Worst case scenario is you had a heart attack, or you cut your arm in the kitchen while preparing some food and you bled out and there was nobody there to help you and now you're dead. I literally had those thoughts running through my head all afternoon.
You know, all those things are not out of the realm of possibilities.
I know. That's why I was thinking of them.
Given my history. But no, I couldn't go to sleep until 6 o'clock, and I was just going to start my day. But I did the same thing yesterday, and could go with 2 or 3 days of no sleep, but I just couldn't do it, and I fell asleep, and you woke me up.
So it's just for my peace of mind. If I can't get you on a text, you will let me know something if I call you. Like all I needed at that point was a sign of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a call would have been good because text is ting, and it's
very light.
Yeah, and that's about it. But I'm house sitting for yours and my friend Seth this week, and he's got.
I blew him up, by the way, so he probably thinks I'm a maniac.
No.
Yeah. I was like, Joe Bird's dead, Seth. Oh my god.
Yeah. No, I mean, they have a beautiful dog. Sonny, and he's sweet, but he's dumb as a bag of rocks.
Oh, I got one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's really sweet. But I've just been struggling this week. I thought that maybe going to a different place, would help. But to be honest, I've just been,
You saying it hasn't helped?
No. Yeah, but I mean, the house was really nice, and I helped him do work on it, so that's kind of neat. And it should be a great time. But I mean, hey, you know what? When you struggle, man.
And when you struggle, like I would say the core group is Tony Gump and myself. So reach out to us.
Seth's in there too. See, I've got a really good network. Boomer. So I've got a really good network of friends. But what's working in your mind is, here I go, I'm gonna be bothering them again, and blah 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 blah, and that's kind of what goes through your head. But a lot of very funny people have suffered. Look at Robin Williams. Of course, he didn't. I'm not saying I'm like Robin Williams and gonna kill himself or anything.
No,
but he did it because he found out he had a disease, and it was a bad disease.
Right.
But a lot of funny people really struggle behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, the good news is Prime Day starts today.
Yeah, but I don't have any money to
but other people do.
Yes, to Prime.
My wife says that she said something about let's get a nanny cam for JB's house, which I think is a phenomenal idea, not just for our peace of mind, but that we occasionally have a 24-hour marathon, members only, where the people can watch your nanny cam like Fish Tank.
The only thing about that is I could literally probably have a 1-minute clip of myself, and if I could figure out a way to hack into the nanny cam, I could show that, and that would pretty much be it.
Well, you could have your own reality show, though. I think we can all agree with that. That you are your own reality show.
Yeah, but I'm not very interesting by myself. It's around other people that I really, I really feed off of other people. And when you're, not around other people, that's where the demons can come in.
And that's why Jimmy Jam said $10 because I love
Jimmy Jam.
That's right.
God bless him.
God bless Jimmy Jam. God bless America.
I know. God bless.
And, sometimes what you need is somebody to just say something nice about you. For instance, Trish says in the chat, "You look so skinny sitting in Tampa Tony's seat." And I actually thought I looked fat. I hate this angle.
No, you don't.
I want to be back in my chair. I feel like I have control over my optics in the other chair. This one, I don't like. I look fat.
No, that's your imagination talking there. You don't. I mean, you think about how much weight you've lost. No matter what you say, you can't say you look fat. You don't have a right to say that. As much weight as you've lost.
I feel like I look stuffy. Like.
What did you eat last night?
I ate those. Remember the picture I sent you 3 days ago of the sliders, the turkey sliders?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yeah, I ate those again. I've ate those the last 3 nights. because I made so many, and I don't have the heart to throw them away. So I ate that, but I've got some sauce. Oh, well, I wasn't going to see you before then. I'm afraid they wouldn't be good. I don't want to poison you. Well, I mean, I'll let you eat surstrumming, but I'm not going to let you eat 3-day-old turkey.
Thank you. God bless you.
I think I'm going to cook sausage tonight. I think I got some sausage.
Really? I'm going to cook a ribeye. I've been eating a lot of ribeyes because Seth does really strong. He and his wife do a lot of keto. And he said, you're welcome to anything. And I discovered that freezer. And saying you're welcome to anything to John Bird is not a good idea. Yeah. So I've been grabbing that sucker, and I mean, it's huge too. It's huge, man. And I take that sucker, and he's got a really nice grill outside. And the cool thing is, it's connected to the gas line. He's got like a special plug-in, so he doesn't have to worry about propane tanks. And man, I fire that thing up, and I get that thing going. And I keep saying, I need to get some vegetables to go with that. And I'm like, screw that. And then just eat the whole thing. So,
hey, do what works for you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I say.
Yeah.
Live your life.
I mean, it's that or canned chicken. So, or there is some bacon.
Well, we have Cheez-Its and canned eel here.
Yes. And I'm thinking about maybe taking the canned eel home. And,
you should.
And cooking it in the air fryer.
Listen, if you do that, you need to document it for us.
Okay.
Please, for the love, document that for us.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
I want that. I was gonna put a video together of, so me and Trish went to Savannah, Georgia this weekend.
Know.
And I was going to
so good.
Yeah, I was gonna document some of, like, I even took some videos of like me talking about the scenery or whatever we were doing. I mean, we were in the hotel taking a nap at one time, and I'm like recording myself.
It's
like,
great.
Oh, look at me, I'm taking a nap.
It's great to take a nap in a hotel, man. It's the best.
I'm not a nap guy, but something has gotten into me lately, and I've been taking naps almost every day. What does that mean?
Okay, that means that you know what that means? You're knocking on the door.
Heaven's door?
A 40.
Knock, knock, knocking on the door 40.
Yeah, so you're knocking on the door of 40. It's natural.
Well, it was bizarre because, so we got a hotel, and we're like, well, it looks like it's a fairly nice part of town. And as we start getting there, all the signs, and when I say signs, I mean the things in our surroundings were telling us we were in the hood. It was like we were driving, and then there's like a title loan place, and we're like, oh,
yeah,
that's not awful, but
that's usually the entryway.
And then it's a cash advance place, and then it's like, oh, Trisha's like, there's a Chick-fil-A, so we're good, and I'm like, okay, and then it's like 3 chicken places right next to each other.
The chicken places, especially if they have fried seafood as well. Yeah, those, I mean, they can be good to eat, but you're risking your life sometimes.
But then we came across, once I saw the sign for this restaurant right here, I was like, okay, the hip-hop seafood and chicken.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no.
But it's good, man.
Oh, it's got to be so good. It's got to be.
Maybe you could have found somebody and slipped them a 10 to go in there and order you.
Yeah, for real. I don't know that they would let me in there. And this ATM right here, which I was fascinated by.
God.
So it's got these flaps, I guess, to protect you, or to maybe if somebody's going to try to rob you, it can buy you some time.
Yeah.
To get the money in your pocket or get out of there, or maybe you hit them with the flaps from the car wash. And if you look right there. Look right here at the halfway down, there's a metal bar that have been welded across to make sure you can't just straight up steal the ATM machine. It's pretty fascinating.
Jeez.
And then
Siri took you there?
No, we were just driving around. And then there was this Taco Bell sign, which I'm like, what kind of great value off-brand Taco Bell is this?
That's vintage, man.
It is that. Do you recognize that Taco Bell sign from back in the day?
Yeah, from when I was little.
So that's what we discovered when we started doing some deep diving and research, should I say? We found out that was apparently the original Taco Bell logo.
Cool. That's cool.
And that was the location of one of the very first Taco Bells, if not the very first.
Wow.
Yeah. But if you look at the Taco Bell sign, if you're standing at the Taco Bell sign, you look to your left, and it's a Wendy's, and you look to your right, and it's an Arby's. It's a Taco Bell sign just sitting between those two restaurants.
Wait, there's no restaurant?
There's no Taco Bell there. Just a Taco Bell sign.
God, that's weird, man.
Yeah, it was weird.
I guess they wanted to keep it up. Probably the Preservation Society, wanted to do something.
Here's some of the footage. We were just taking random video. A lot of homeless people there, by the way.
Really?
Surprising amount of homeless people. And in certain parts of the city, it smells like piss.
That looks like a very nice section.
It does, but if you get to the edge of the park, it starts smelling like piss. And I don't know if it's from homeless people or the horses and the buggies. But yeah, look how nice that place was.
I
Like
know.
Trish was fascinated with the moss in the trees.
Yep. I mean, people, to me, when I think of Savannah, Georgia, I think, like a historic and beautiful, and the tree-lined streets with the kind of, older southern houses,
Yes.
mansions on the side.
It's very nice.
Oh.
Yeah, look at that. That's fascinating. I took that out of my sunroof.
Did you really?
Yeah, that's some sort of old historic church. Trish is going to have to do the tour guiding in the chat because I don't remember. This is River Street. They shot the fireworks off of the river on a barge.
Oh.
And it's probably the best fireworks I've seen. My only complaint was the fact that you had to... the line to get alcohol at any of those spots was out the door and around the corner.
I imagine.
So it was miserable. And they wouldn't let you get more than one drink at a time. So there was no way to catch a buzz down there unless you brought your own, which I don't think was legal. But I actually bought Trish one drink, and I had it in a cooler in the back of the car. And we were like 20 minutes in being down there, and I'm like, I'm going to get your drink. I need it. And I drank it. Because I had you good, and I couldn't make any headway.
Were you able to get anything? Were there any restaurants in there that you could get inside?
I don't know about. Yeah, there were some restaurants, but most of them, I don't know if they were actually doing food or not. Maybe they were. They had this band, which is apparently active duty military members that were doing a cover band.
Whoa!
And they were actually pretty good. I'll make sure I don't get dinged for copyright. I thought they were great.
Yeah, that's great. When I was in high school, we had Navy recruiter come, and they actually have a band that tours.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, they were killer. They were like basically professional musicians. They played in like the military band and all that.
There's the two hotties.
I mean, they were getting to it.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing. They may have been not just getting together. They may be a touring band.
Yeah, they might. I thought it was kind of a cool gimmick. I mean, it's 4th of July. You got some military members in their fatigues up there rocking out, doing a good job at it. Like, not everybody can get up there and do a good job at cover songs. Not like you. You do a good job at cover songs.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Hootie did not, from Hootie and the Blowfish,
No.
but it didn't matter, in the long run.
And can I say that when I was freaking out about you being dead, Carrie started using Hootie and the Blowfish as bumper music, and I'm like, of course he didn't know what was going on,
Right,
but I'm like, why are you doing that? It's just reminding me that my friend's probably dead right now.
Oh man,
It was. I'm telling you, it was bad. I legit had convinced myself that you were just dead meat.
All right, here we go. This will make you feel better.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
I appreciate that. That does help. I actually hugged you first when you got here.
That blew me away.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often. So I was just flipped out, man. I was straight flipped out. But it's fine. Everything's fine. We survived. You survived. A lot of stuff. And by the way, shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm not neglecting y'all. I'm just trying to get my wits about me. John Bird can shout y'all out.
Yeah, it's tough when you only have two.
Bob Cook, Jimmy Jam, Bama Phoenix,
Cherry,
Nick the Gun Guy. I like how everybody is in here. Paul. Oh, that's right. I did a live stream of the fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
And then after, when we were on our way out, people kept sending super chats and making me yell out what they were saying in the super chat. So I'm like out in public screaming out their super chats. So that was cool. I like, though, how the people that come and watch these videos, like, they all say hello to each other. Like, they're one big happy family. Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That's very, very cool. I like seeing that.
Hey,
you know what? I got an idea. Maybe I could go out like a man on the street kind of thing, and we could do that. People would shout something for me to either shout out loud or a question to ask someone.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I could do that. And I tried out my spy glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. They work so good. That little camera right there, and then it's got the little microphones here on the side. It's some James Bond shit, I'm telling you.
Nice. How are you? I think the audience wants to know, how are you doing since the Sir Strumming gimmick? Because that was the last time the audience has seen you.
Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, I did fine.
Well, that was another thing. I'm like, what if he died from Swedish fish poisoning, and then the audience is going to blame me for killing you? Yeah. Even though I played very little, I didn't play a whole lot of role in that. You know, you were sent the Sir Strumming. You willingly ate it.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you, there are people on social media, when I go post clips of that, they give me the business. I mean, they're like, I'm like, shut up, you miserable hag. You know, everybody else is loving it. Just because you don't like it.
Oh, yeah. That was that one person that said, you're making yourself look like a fool.
Oh, I deleted that comment altogether.
Well, I actually posted something on her page. And I was very nice, and I sliced her up a little bit. I kind of felt bad about it, but, I basically said, I accept who I am, and I like to share it with people. If I can make, one person smile, it's worth it to me. That helps, that it really means a lot to me. I said, you, on the other hand, obviously you're dealing with some kind of deep-seated trauma. And the way that you try and make yourself feel better is to put other people down. And that's very sad. And I said, believe it or not, I will pray for you as many days as I remember. And please try and
my memory's bad.
Yes. Please try and turn things around for yourself.
Well, if you go to her page, like one of her main profile pictures is like an animated old lady surrounded by 25 cats.
Yes.
And that's just, I was like, you know what? I'm kicking a dead horse at this point.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to be mean, but I was like, I just need to block her. I don't know how she ended up my friend.
Well, she also commented on the one that we did about the dude with the big long ding-a-ling, the Mexican guy.
Yeah.
And she said, is this important? Are your parents proud of you and eager to know this? Or maybe it is for 13-year-olds. Why don't you step up your game to more mature adult content? The bumper music is ear-shattering, childish noise. Your unintellectual audience seems to enjoy this tribe. And then a couple of people started hammering her. And one guy says, this is why women can't be men and vice versa. We built different, Kathy. Now go make us a sandwich.
And you know what? I mean, there's some women that enjoy it. I've said this before. There's a club. And we talk about 13-year-olds and this and that. But sometimes we have highbrow humor. And you have to be a member of the club. And you either get it or you don't. If you don't get it, then you're not a member of the club. Like, for instance, I've talked about this before. You and Tony and I will hit on, and you're really good about it. You are really good about this. You'll notice something in us talking, and you'll grab onto it. and you'll throw it to me, and I'll throw it back to you, and then you'll throw it to Tony, and then Tony will throw it to me, and that's what kind of makes the humor. And then now we've got people in the chats that are throwing it.
That's right.
So
That's
I mean,
right.
That stuff's fun, and I think it is very stimulating for the brain.
Well, and going back to the people that troll, and I don't know that they're actively trolling as the definition of trolling goes, but they're upset that we're not doing what they want us to do, or they get angered by it. The one thing I love about the audience is I never have to respond to these people. I don't have to. Do I want to? Sometimes, yeah. But I always just leave it be. I let people say what they want. And our over-the-line audience, or even the line audience on the radio, will just hammer the shit out of whoever that is.
Yeah. I mean, I do respond to everyone that says something negative, and I say, I'm really sorry that this is not your cup of tea.
I'm really sorry. I'm gonna have to gut you like a fish.
Yeah, go die. And no. I mean, I'm very polite and very nice to them, and kill them with kindness. But this one person, I don't know what it was. I brought up my claws, which reminds me, I need to trim my nails. Look at that.
Oh my!
Like a claw. Kitty cat.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to do it earlier, but so it was not at my house. My house is 15 miles away, so I stopped by there yesterday specifically to get my clippers. So it's going to be clipping time tonight.
You're clipping here, or you're clipping at home?
No, I'm not going to clip here.
Yeah, don't clip here. That would be weird. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't want to clip here.
What do you think about people that do that in public, though? Like, is that not completely out of pocket and inappropriate?
I would say so. Even as crazy as I can be out in public, that's just over the top.
Yeah.
That is, if you, and you know what? I never did it in front of my ex-wife.
Really? I don't do it in front of my wife either.
Yeah, I mean,
because I don't even take my socks off in front of my wife.
Yeah, it's a personal thing that you do.
I'm just weird about it. I can barely walk around without Crocs on, because I guess my feet are sensitive or something on the bottom, and I can't handle it.
Yeah, I wear socks, and then I have my Walmart shoes.
I could see you as a compression sock kind of person.
Nope. Look at these right here. I mean, they're dirty because I walk outside some, but they're cheap. They're fruit of the loom, sort of.
No, my wife will go everywhere barefoot if she can. She will be barefoot wherever she's out in the yard, grounding. She's swimming. She's doing whatever.
Well, you probably want to be barefoot swimming, I would think.
I had to climb up to pull ladders yesterday or Sunday with my Crocs on because the stairs were hurting my feet. God, everybody's going to think I'm a pussy.
Man.
Yeah.
Because when I was little, it was cut off jeans, especially in the summertime. Cut off jeans, no shirt, and barefoot. And
cut off jeans is like jorts? Like how cut off?
Kind of like the late 70s, early 80s NBA players before they got short in the 80s and then got longer in the 90s. So, I mean, it was, basically, and they were cut off. You did not buy them.
Yeah.
So, you bought jeans and then your mom cut them. I tried that one time and it ruined them. So I would get my mom to cut them, and then you go out and you play, and there's hogs and chickens and, snakes and all kinds of stuff.
That's fascinating, my friend. Fascinating. Let's talk about some of the news of the day, and this was the big one. So, like, on the radio show, Donald Trump started a cabinet meeting at about 10:45 local time.
Yeah.
We got finished playing that cabinet meeting at about 1:15.
What?
It ate up the entire show. And there were a lot of different things that were newsworthy that were in there, a lot of different topics that we won't be able to break down on the show. But one of them was a moment when a reporter had asked Donald Trump, or he was actually asking Pam Bondi about the Epstein deal. Mm-hmm. So we've been told we're getting an Epstein client list. We're getting flight logs. We're getting all this information, and we're going to find out who unalived Jeffrey Epstein finally, because nobody was buying it. Well, then over the past day or two, they release a 10-hour video of the camera fixated on his cell to allegedly show nobody went in there. They come out and they say, well, we don't have any sort of client list, and we don't have all. And so everybody's like, what the actual hell? There's like nobody's buying that. So a reporter asked Donald Trump, or asked again Pam Bondi, about this situation to say, hey, what's the deal? There's a lot of people asking a lot of questions. What's the explanation? And Donald Trump interrupts her before she has the ability to answer, and it just takes a bizarre turn. Tell me what your thoughts are on this.
Okay, sure. Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of his death?
Yeah, sure.
Pam, could I just interrupt? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure.
So most of us, when we saw that, we were kind of like, oh, why is he saying it like that? Like, we this is not some new story that we're bringing back from the dead. Like, this has been a thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's something that's more, like, bigger picture here, because y'all know how much I love Donald Trump, and I go to bat for him every single time.
I love him, too.
But I thought that was kind of a weird take. Like, what are we talking about Jeffrey Epstein for? Well, because they've been releasing stuff. You know, that's one. And then listen to Pam Bondi's explanation as to what this reporter's asking.
Okay. Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing.
Okay. Two things here.
What about the minute missing?
We're about to get that explanation.
Okay.
But here's the thing. She says two things. One, she contradicted herself because she said that what was on there was we'll call it CP. Mm-hmm. I don't appreciate her saying that word twice on her YouTube channel. CP that was downloaded onto his computer.
Right.
Not that CP that he starred in or that others starred in, but this was just like, he's just a creep that downloads CP.
Right. Can you imagine being the agent or agents
that has to look at that stuff?
To look at that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, it's like with the Anthony Weiner thing, all the stuff he had on his computer. Mm-hmm. There were several of those cops that unalived themselves after that.
Really?
Like, it was that bad. But that contradicts what she said previously, which was that he was in those movies that they had. And, of course, Pam Bondi, we don't want you to release those tapes. Nobody wants to see those tapes. But the story's not adding up. Well, then you get to this part. So 10 hours of footage is released from inside the little corridor there where his cell is. Mm-hmm. And his cell is right next to the little officer station. Mm-hmm. In what seems like it's the hole or whatever, solitary confinement, right? And So the 10 hours gets published and people start going through it. Well, they notice there's an entire minute missing out of that 10 hours. Like 60, just one section of 60 seconds missing. Mm-hmm. So the reporter's like, what's the deal with that? Why is there a minute missing? Here's what she said.
Seen from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night.
Okay. I don't know, dude.
Reset the video? Really?
But it just,
a videotape?
I'm like, well, if the prisoners know that there's going to be a minute missing every 24 hours, wouldn't they take advantage of that or something? Yeah. The thing is with what we assume with the powerful people that are implicated in this, those people don't have to be, necessarily let into a cell to accomplish their mission of unaliving Jeffrey Epstein. Mm-hmm. They are powerful people that have many ways to, accomplish
to get
this.
To them, sure.
So I don't know. I mean, here's the video. A section of the video that they released showing that. Let me put it on. Let's see here. Okay. I'm working the Tony Gump magic here.
There you go.
This is, and I want you to watch the time down in the left corner. You see where it says 8/9/2019. Mm-hmm. You'll see the timer below that, and it's currently at 11:58:51 p.m. 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. Oh, it's midnight. Just like that.
What?
An entire minute missing. It hops from 11:58 to midnight, 12 a.m.
Why would the camera be moved slightly?
That's another good question. It actually almost looks like the camera's not moved, but if you look, the frame looks like they widened it or something.
Yeah, something was done. But here's a big question. Is he dead after that minute?
So they last see him alive at 10:51 p.m. Mm-hmm. And then at 6:30 a.m. the next morning, this morning on this tape is when they found him unalive. So it certainly happened within this general time frame. But I don't know. And so her explanation was, well, all of the tapes of every day in that prison is missing 60 seconds at that time before the clock strikes 12.
Okay, I don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist, but it looked like you couldn't see him from that. That was just like the entrance to
it's just his door. You can't see him.
Okay, yeah. All right. Now, something's not adding up because I've watched enough movies to know that if you have a coordinated attack, you've got specialists and you've got everything timed and you've got the tech guy and everything. And they're like, you've got 60 seconds to get in there and hang him. So
you mean
during that 1 minute?
Well, I'm saying let's use another word besides that H word.
Oh, hang him.
Hang out.
Hang out with him.
Yes, hang out with him.
So if they want to hang out with him. They could go in there, take care of business, and get back out.
Yeah. Well, in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
They're going to absolutely
But it seems pretty sloppy work.
But also, you can't see him. Like, that's not even a door with a window, or is that a window at the top? I can't tell. I don't think it even has a window. But so you can't be for sure that he did it because you don't see him, and you didn't see him for 8 hours. You just know that happened within 8 hours. Within those 8 hours, right?
Right.
But I am pleased to announce that I do have the actual minute that's missing.
Really?
I do. I actually did my research, and I brought it to the table. Okay. This is it right here. Found it. This is exactly what happened.
Yep.
We all knew it.
No, yep, she's a powerful woman, and we're not just talking, as far as being powerful.
And she's got the power to just walk up in there like that too.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the devil does.
Can we just appreciate how real that looks, though? Look at the feet.
Man, the only thing is, well, I guess someone could have left the door open.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. See, the story was crazy because it was like the guards fell asleep. Then they said, well, the tape actually accidentally got erased. They erased the wrong tape. Well, now they've got the tape. Now the guards aren't asleep. And it's just, it doesn't make sense, man. I need to.
You think we'll ever find out?
I'm getting to where I don't think so. I don't want to say that because I want to hold out hope, but I'm getting to the point where there's something. I don't know. Like, people are being protected in this situation. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
And who knows about the protection? I would like to think that Donald Trump doesn't know. I mean, it's outside of what we already know with Prince Andrew or Bill Clinton or whatever. And that he's just leaving it up to the FBI and the DOJ to get to the bottom of this. And maybe, because I don't know Kash Patel well enough to say that he's being straight up. I'd like to think he is. Mm-hmm. Dan Bongino is a straight up guy. He didn't give up a job with good money doing Rumble and podcast to go be a deputy FBI director to cover up all the things he'd been talking about on his podcast.
Right.
And then Pam Bondi's just, I'm kind of squishy on her. Actually, I'm really squishy on her. But maybe the evidence was destroyed before they got there.
I mean,
and they're legitimate giving us what they have.
Well, do you really think that we're going to find out about JFK or MLK, even Robert Kennedy? Do you really think we're going to find out anything? Because I would think that any evidence would have been destroyed long ago, and it's going to be so heavily redacted, and there's not going to be an unredacted version that they have access to. I think that those are things that are lost to history, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I know a lot of people don't like this guy, but Andrew Tate. How you feel about Andrew Tate?
Mm-hmm, I like him.
There's allegations of him trafficking women, but it's also kind of seems like a setup. And he said some crazy things. Okay,
yeah,
he's got the right to say crazy things if he wants. But he was on the PBD podcast talking about this, and I think it was one of the most poignant explanations of all of this that I've heard. Like, it really made me think: is that the case? It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so what it's all about is just keeping things on the straight and narrow, or keeping the world intact. As bad as that sounds, like we don't want to find ourselves saying, well, we got to cover up for Epstein's clients in order for the world to keep spinning. But it's kind of the gist that he had going here. Mm-hmm. Check this out right here. I think this is absolutely a fascinating point.
Money is the driving force behind all politics. It always will be, because it is your primary objective to not only make people believe they can be rich, but to keep your rich people happy, to keep your oligarchy happy, and to keep them politically invested in you. So you talk about the Epstein list. I would argue it's a very similar scenario. It's all about money. It's all about who has the money and controlling the money. Is America as a country prepared to upset all of its richest people? I don't know. Is it? Is it prepared to upset all of its richest people to appease bloodthirsty brokies who don't even care about justice? They just want the drama. Another question, because I would argue that the murders that happen every day on the street are very interesting, but no one cares about that. MS-13 and all this shit, no one really cares about that. But this Epstein list they really care about. They want justice, sure, but it's a drama. It's interesting. They want to find out. They're curious. And I'm asking you, as a professional, you're in charge of a country. Your primary objective is to keep your oligarchy happy, to keep the wealth inside of your nation, and to make them obey you when it comes to sanctions and such other things, and to ensure that the U.S. dollar becomes and stays the predominant currency globally. There's a bunch of bloodthirsty brokies on the internet who barely pay taxes who want to go through a list. Who are you going to prioritize? Who do you care about? I'm not saying it's fair. But anyone who believes the legal systems are fair is a dumbass anyway, because the legal system's never been fair. There's always been a who are you involved in all legal cases. So when you talk about the Epstein things, I sit and think it's all money orientated. Because broke people like to think that rich people should be held accountable like broke people. And that's a great idea. But guess what? They're not. They're not. Rich people have a different capability to fight against legal cases than a broke person. They can have better lawyers. They have better media spin. They have PR. They have news outlets. I'm not talking about myself because I'm not rich like these people. These people own news networks. They can affect public sentiment, which affects a jury, which affects their case. This is the bottom line of it. At the top level, at the top echelon of fame and money, legal cases aren't even about law. They're just a circus. If they pick you up, it's only deliberately to attack your image. It's not even about law at that point, like Trump. It was only to attack his image. With me, it was to attack my image. They didn't give a shit they got a conviction. They got a shit about keeping me in a country where I couldn't work, trying to take away all my money, and slandering me every day on the news. That's all they wanted to do. So you have to analyze these things as a professional and understand you're talking about the most powerful people in the world on this list, perhaps. And you're asking, why has the list not come out? I would argue that the most powerful people in the world, if they have half a brain, are talking to Cash and Pam and saying, look, maybe this is on, maybe I'm on that list, maybe I did something bad, but also look at all the good I've done, this. You want to appease a few Twitter autists, but it's going to have this consequence, that consequence, that consequence, that consequence, that consequence. And then as a rational adult, there's rational conversations to have. And rational conversations are about subjectivity and compromise. It's not about sitting and saying, that's the law, so that's what we're going to do, da-da-da. And that's what we all like to believe, that the law is the law and we all stick to the law. Doesn't work that way.
What do you think about that? I know. I mean, he makes a phenomenal point.
Yes, he does.
That, it's. I don't know.
I agree with him on a lot of that.
It's almost like a structure of, okay, say the list comes out and it's got, the most powerful people, your Bill Gates, and let's just hypothetical. Elon Musk is on there. The prime minister of the Germany and the UK and
Prince Andrew, right?
Prince Andrew, that's one for sure. What if Benjamin Netanyahu's on there and all that comes out? Like, what happens at that point?
Whoa.
What happens if Trump, if it is somebody, and there's no evidence that Bibi Netanyahu's on there. I don't think he is. But I do think Jeffrey Epstein was involved with Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency. What, what does that do to the team, the allies? If Trump allows that to come out for Israel when America's supposed to be an ally of Israel, like, what does it do to that relationship? What does that do to the Middle East in general? Like, it's a whole thing. He didn't even get that deep on this. 2
people in 2 minutes have blown my brain.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it like that, and probably a lot of people don't. It's almost like, okay, what's for the greater good?
Yeah.
And that's a tough one because, we're talking about sex trafficking and how we're working.
Let's find another word for that.
Ex-trafficking. Trafficking sounds bad. For ex-trafficking, and how that we're working so hard to eliminate that, but then you wonder what all was involved with
how I got started in the first place.
Yeah, I mean,
it's my.
And if they're on the list, that doesn't necessarily mean that they participated.
I guess it depends on what kind of list it is. Like if it's flight logs,
that's not really.
You could have been flying from one part of the country to another. You didn't necessarily go to the island.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're on there maybe 10 times or whatever.
Yeah, like Bill Clinton.
You've got to and look at reputation. But what do you think? Do you really think it's worth it to continue to do use resources and to do all this with everything else going on? So I'm wondering. To me, Trump doesn't have a filter, and maybe I'm not even thinking this, but he doesn't seem to have an agenda. He has a goal. He has a mission.
Right.
And him talking about these other things is like, it's typical for Trump to say, look, all this other horrible stuff is happening. Why aren't you covering this?
Yeah.
That's not out of character for him.
I don't know, man.
I just don't think he's in the back of his mind saying, okay, we gotta squash this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. That's a Democrat. That's from the Democrat playbook.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Like, I don't think Trump is implicated in any kind of covering this up because, he was very open about, hey, we'll cut that stuff loose, Now, we're used to politicians saying they're going to do one thing when they're running for office, but then doing something different when they get there. Mm-hmm. But Donald Trump's not your normal politician. So I go back to thinking that maybe it's a matter of he has to dole out responsibility. That's why the cabinet's so big. And he says, here, FBI, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, do this. Get this handled. And Kash Patel, he's been talking about it forever, too. Pam Bondi assured everybody she's releasing the files. That's what the president wants. He just hands it over to them and leaves it up to them. And that would actually explain some of his frustration today when they were asking the questions about it because he's got a million other things going on. I don't know. It's just crazy. When he said that, though, I got kind of sideways, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean that don't matter? Because it does.
Yeah. I think he's talking about in the grand scheme of things when you have, like, the little girls that drown, and you just have so much, not only in the world, but in the country going on.
Yeah. Hey, can somebody tell me what this whole... Do you see this, John Bird, where it's got number 1 and number 2 by people's names? Like Jimmy Jam, it says number 1, he's got a crown. Is that only on our end? Let me click it.
Yeah, do you guys have any crowns out there?
Oh, it says top fans. So Jimmy Jam is number 1, Jerry's number 2, Stacy G is number 3, Scott's number 4, Tony Gump's number 5. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Tracy 6, Bob Cook is 7.
Bob Cook.
Bama Phoenix is 8. Timothy Thornton is 9. This one says Treasure something. Bart is 11. And Weed Hopper, Brian from Wild Ear Jerky is number 12. It's got XP by their name. How are y'all getting XP? What does that mean?
Rainey is always involved a lot. She didn't have a number by hers, did she?
No, not on there. Maybe they know. It's on all the live videos now, says Trish. So
there is something I would like to mention for everyone, and I'll mention it for the rest of this week. I have, from the mind of John Bird, come up with a way that we can feel more like family. I'd like to ask everyone to either have someone else, or if you've got a tripod, take a picture of yourself, and I want you to just stand. And if you want to, you can cross your arms or just put your arms, like beside you, where it's natural. But I need a picture of your full body. And you can do whatever face you want. Smiling's probably preferred, or whatever.
And what are you doing with these pictures?
Now, I'm not going to tell. I mean, it's going to be a Christmas surprise in July.
Oh, okay. I was going to say they got to wait till Christmas.
Yeah. Now, Thursday, and I'll mention this Friday, I'm going to have an email that's made just for this that you can send the pics to. And this will change your life.
I dare you to call the email Dr. Dingaling's Big Ween at Gmail.
That's a lot to type in.
But everybody would remember it.
How about we just type Dick?
Yeah. Dick at gmail.com.
Now, somebody's got that, I'd probably be like Dick 48 to
Dick 62.
Dick 60. But yes, I mean, I'm serious about that. It came to me in a dream.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I wrote it down. I said, "Oh my gosh, this is the best idea."
So are you going to have an email for people to send to by
Send the
Friday?
pictures. Yes. Well, I'll have it by Thursday.
Okay, so everybody go ahead and take your picture.
Mm-hmm. Full body picture.
Full body picture. Oh, yeah. People are going to love sending John Bird full body photos. And we'll let Bird. I have no idea what Bird's doing. So
Exactly.
whatever he does,
it will be fantastic, and you will love it.
The services done by John Bird do not represent the views and opinions of Over the Line, Dan Patoni, or Andrew McClain.
Yes, but it's going to be really cool. It will be.
All right, so we got to get up out of here.
Wow, really?
Yeah, already. And thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you for the super chats. You all know how important the super chats are to us. I mean, they literally mean everything. But we got to give you an opportunity to do final words. I'll do Tampa Tony's part. Get plenty of meat, sunlight, sleep, and what was the other thing? It was like nicotine or something.
No, not nicotine. I don't know.
Meat, sleep, water, sunlight.
Yeah.
Not in that order.
Yeah.
But it was something like that.
Did it say something about vitamins?
And vitamins, and say
yeah.
eat your vitamins and say your prayers.
Yeah.
And we gotta talk about this Hulk Hogan thing when we get to the members only, because that whole thing's getting weirder and weirder. So that's my final words. John Bird.
My final words are that I've decided to live my life no matter what. What that means is that I'm going to live my life no matter what. If you break it down into a little more detail, it means that I'm going to live. What am I going to live? My life. How am I going to live my life? I'm going to live it no matter what. So, no matter what, my life, I'm going to be living. It's tough at times, but you know it's important. So let me tell everybody out there, live your life no matter what. And remember, your life is a long time. For some people, it's sadly short, and that breaks my heart. But for a lot of people, it's a long time. So you're living that life. The important thing is don't give up. You live that life. Okay? But no matter what, you live that life. So live it with me. Say it with me. I'm going to live my life no matter what. Andrew, live your life no matter what.
I certainly will.
So no matter what, I'm going to be living it. I'll see you later. Because I'm going to be living my life while I'm not on the camera.
Okay.
No matter what.
Okay, that's good. Do you have a pen over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I get to throw the pen.
So
I hope I don't hit anything.
You know the saying. Kind of do it to the right.
Okay.
Don't hit the camera directly.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay. Tell me when.
Okay, we're ready.
All right. And until next time, stay guys.